Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Dovey. And today, I've got a very, very special guest with me by the name of Kai Chase. She is a celebrity chef, a culinary wizardess. Would she be a wizardess? Yes. Look at all the cookbooks behind her. You know she's doing something magical. She's been the personal chef for President Obama, Steve Harvey. Currently, she cooks for Kevin Hart. And she has a spice collection called Universal Spice Collection that we're going to talk about. So welcome, Kai. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's all good. All right, so from the outside looking in, talk to us about Kai Chase.
Wow, where do I start about Kai?
Anywhere you want to. Anywhere.
Well, I started, in the culinary game about 24 years ago. Mm. And I started out, first of all, in entertainment. I started out in the entertainment field. And I was a writer for a music magazine called the Urban Network. And I don't know if some of the folks are familiar with Urban, but they were the sister company for Album Network, which is the rock charts, and the Network 40, which did the pop chart. So we were the R&B urban for rap and R&B and urban music. So anyway, I was a journalist there, and I was there for some years, like 7 years, something like that. And I used to also produce a CD for new music coming out called Urban Jams, and I got all involved in that because I come from a family of entertainers, so it was nepotism how I got into that. So I loved it. I'm a great writer. I love writing, and it was like I thought that could have been my dream job, but all along, I was like, just manifesting me being the chef. And, I had to find my art that was calling to me, because everyone else in my family had their own art, their own way, their own journey. So, I wanted to be in a rock band with some girls. I played drums, and I was in play production. I thought I wanted to be an actress, but the whole time my muse was food. And, as the years progressed, I started getting a little, leery and a little upset with the industry itself, the politics of that business. Mm-hmm. So, my art form was food. So I just kept manifesting and practicing and practicing. And next thing you know, I'm coming home from the magazine, going to bed, reading The Joy of Cooking, and waking up in the middle of the night making cheesecakes. And that was just that was it. And I knew it. I said, you know what, before it goes any further, let me just manifest this and step out on faith. And that's what I did. So I stepped out on faith, and I enrolled in a culinary college called Epicurean. It was a little small boutique college out here in Los Angeles, California, and graduated, had to do some externships. They needed 60 hours. I worked 6 months for free.
Wow.
In a kitchen that Pamela Anderson owned, this restaurant called Sanctuary. It was in Beverly Hills. Yeah. So I worked on the line. I got in there. It didn't matter. I didn't care what because when you're in the kitchen, no makeup, right. No fly hair, no fly nails. This was my passion, and I knew this is what I wanted to do. So yeah, my parents realized that I was serious. And once I graduated, they got me some master's studies at Le Cordon Bleu in Paris, France.
Okay.
And the rest is kind of history. I took all of my contacts from the music industry, and those became my clients.
Okay. So what was the defining moment? Who was your first client that said, come take care of me?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Well, my very first client, when I got out of culinary school, she is a high profile makeup artist, and now she has a beautiful, the makeup sponges that I think all the girls know about. Rianne Silva. After her, my next client was Steve Harvey.
Okay.
So I've been working for Steve since Steve had his I think it was his, not the talk show. It was his
your show?
The Steve Harvey show that he had. It was the Steve Harvey show where he was the principal and all that good stuff. So that's how I started with him. And then, from there, every job that I had gotten was by referral. Everyone. I mean, I never had to do any cold calling. I think right after him, Cedric the Entertainer. Then Jalen Rose came because they were all part of the same group of guys that were best friends. And, my food was so different. It was more of a clean eating, but still familiar ingredients. So just the different entertainers were like, hey man, she cooks good food. She is clean eating. So I have to look a certain way on camera. I have to sound a certain way on the radio. So I was starting to ask them about their dietary restrictions and if they had any allergies. And this is way before people were noticing that they had any allergies or dietary restrictions to certain foods. So so I was ahead of the game there, and it just folded into bigger and better. So record companies and record execs and radio stations we were doing, in weddings for certain celebrities. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I started my own catering company, Kai Chase Catering. And that's where I got, from one, Cedric the Entertainer's wedding to Chris Tucker's brother's wedding and, Steve Harvey's wife's birthday parties. And it just manifests. And 9/11 hit, and I had to close my company down right at the height of everything. I had to sell off some things and close my company. And because small businesses it was about big business then.
Right.
So from there, that's how I went into private chefing. Okay. Because you could go into folks' homes, but you just couldn't be on the studio lots like I was in the past.
Right.
And my first client was Macy Gray.
Okay. How fun was that?
Oh my gosh. To this day, she's still my girl. She and I are still very good friends. I just love her. She's a Virgo like me. So she's very artistic. And, this was at the height of her career when she was in Training Day and that fabulous album that she had out. But she was a lot of fun. She's a big foodie. And she had her kids at the time. So I was feeding her kids, staff that would come through. Beautiful home, very rock star-esque. And, Macy liked to have her breakfast brought to her on a silver tray, So I just loved her. She's so decadent. She had silver tray and flowers and whatever she would like for that breakfast. But it was always, this
something like you would see on TV on a movie.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Breakfast at Tiffany's. I love it. Okay. All right.
The queen has arrived. Right. Exactly.
So keeping up with all these people with food allergies, my only food allergy is being hungry. And so how do you keep up with that? And do you have to document? You keep a logbook? How do you manage that?
I have, and I actually do still have some around that I just don't get rid of because, you can always adjust recipes for other clients. Mm-hmm. But I kind of, in my working with different folks, I mirror my client. So say for instance, like, Steve has gone vegan a few times. I go vegan.
Okay.
Just so that I'd be up to date on, the new plant-based ingredients that are out there, and knowing his nutritional, things to feed his body and what he wants to look like on camera while he's with his trainer and his nutritionist. We kind of all work together depending on who that client is. If that client has those people working with them, I work with them. If they don't, then, I just sit down with the client. We get a logbook out, and then I log out what they're eating, what they're not eating. And then I try to put new ingredients so it doesn't get boring. So they're not eating the same things over and over, because that's something where, even me, I would forget the diet or forget the way I'm eating. Let's go back to the old way because this is routine and it's boring. And I also try to incorporate, different world flavors into a cuisine so that it can broaden their horizons of new foods. So,
okay. Speaking of world flavors, so you've got Cali, Cuban, African, Creole. All of that mixed in. So how did that affect, your cooking style and the way that you developed as a chef?
It's interesting. I'm actually, people don't know, I am from the hood. Okay.
Okay.
So, I was, by the time I was 3, 4 years old, my mother, we were living in Watts, 92nd and Wall Street.
Okay. All right.
So when we moved from that area, my mother moved us really as a huge jump to Crescent Heights and Melrose.
Yes.
So Fairfax High School. So it was predominantly Jewish in that area. And I think to this day it still is. I'm not sure. But so I was raised around a lot of culture in growing up. Went to a lot of schools with a lot of different Pakistanians, Jewish kids, Hungarian kids. And it was in the 70s. So things were very, harmonious, not like they are today where it's much more divided.
Right.
And plus my mother, she was working for Red Fox, so she was all into that healthy eating, everybody's, eating sprouts on sandwiches, it was just that style in the 70s with everybody,
right?
Gregory and all that good stuff. So that's how I was raised. So I had the influences from my, environment, and the influences from my mother and my cultural background. So, we were also always cooking in the house. My father's a Latin jazz musician. My biological father, he's coming over, he's playing music. And I just grew up with that harmony of food and music, food and music, food and music, that it just became who I am.
What are some of the major changes that you've seen in the different eras as far as diet? Besides the veganism, I don't understand that piece, but
yeah. Well, yes. And growing up, there wasn't anything called plant-based. I'll be honest today, I'm 54. There you have it. And I embraced that. So, but growing up, there wasn't such a thing called plant-based. It was vegetarianism. Everything was you're a vegetarian or you're a vegan, and it was understood. They had small health food stores like Quinn's Market, and Erewhon was very tiny at the time over by where I lived on Beverly. They had an Aero Market, which was a health food market over there on Santa Monica. And but now Erewhon is everywhere, but I grew up in those stores. But and if most of our culture, our Black culture, our urban culture, knew of eating better. Back over by Stalker, you had the restaurant Simply Wholesome. People were, brothers and sisters were, really getting into healthy eating. So what I'm seeing now is it's more of this plant-based, which is not vegetarian to me. It's food made of other ingredients, which I have clients that do like that, and they like to eat those types of foods, but it's not what I'm,
right.
I kind of am still that old school, let's make a veggie burger out of rolled oats and mushrooms and carrots and grated carrots and form a really nice patty instead of having something that tastes like a burger that's not a burger, but it is a burger. So it's challenging and it's interesting, but I try to keep it as fresh and simple as possible because it's my roots is what I know. Okay. I'm flexible though, but
How do you season a plant-based diet so that it is interesting?
You know what? In working with these plant-based ingredients, it's really all about the sauce.
Okay.
Because that's in anything with cooking. I feel because growing up and going to culinary schools, you learn sauces. You learn how to make your stocks, and then your mother's sauces, and then from your mother's sauces come your contemporary sauces, then your butter sauces, your cheese sauces. So it kind of has tentacles, from the base.
Okay.
So in knowing that, you kind of know how to, move extra with what you're working with. So with the plant-based, I just would do more plant-based sauces. Like say, for instance, chimichurri would be something good to use because it's an Argentinian sauce that's made of parsley, cilantro, garlic, olive oil, and a little red wine vinegar, a little salt, pepper, sugar, and you can put that over steaks. You can put it over vegetables. Well, I do that sometimes if I'm doing like a plant-based skewers.
Okay.
The chicken skewers, plant-based grill, season them, marinate them in a little orange juice, some citrus, whatever, put that on the grill and then put those on there. You would never know you're not eating chicken, and there's your flavor because you got the plant-based, flavors in them. So,
see,
are you hungry yet?
yeah, I'm starving. I just had a sandwich, and now I'm ready to eat something for real, for real. Talking about seasonings, Universal Spice Collection, your spice collection. Let's talk about the creation of that and where can we find it, and the whole 9 yards.
It's so exciting because I've had this vision for years. They're called Creations by Kai.
Okay.
And the synonym is CBK. So you'll see that on the bottle. I think I have one right here. You can see that?
Okay, right.
So this is one. So we're selling these online, okay? And I have three different blends that we started out with. So I decided to just cross the gamut of all of the some of my clients' favorites. Now, Kevin Hart, who's my current client, was really instrumental in blessing me with this. Kevin loves anything. He loves chicken, and he loves blackened chicken, blackened when he was doing steak. So I had created this blackening rub, and this was called warm Cajun and chicory.
Okay.
And I was using it a lot in the house, and he was like, this is so great. This is so great. You should package this. So I did. So this is the first one, warm Cajun and chicory. So it's got chicory root in it. That's, your chicory root from Louisiana, New Orleans. It's got a dark roast coffee, cayenne pepper, and onion powder, garlic powder, and oregano in this, and a little bit of maple sugar. So this is really, really fragrant. We take the top off, the flavor's just seeing out of the bottle. So we got that one. And then this one is a 5-spice habanero and ginger.
That's me.
This is yours. I got to give you this for sure, out the whole pack. But this one is really great because this is a spice blend. So it's got cloves and star anise in it. It's got the ginger and habanero sea salt. And it's really good on pork. It's really good on, we did like an eggplant with miso glaze, and we sprinkled a little bit on and roasted the eggplant and did the miso. Amazing. So we use this on stir fries too. And then we have just a universal salt blend because people like to salt their foods.
Right.
But I love citrus. So, and I'm a California girl, so we call this California citrus salt.
Okay.
And the California citrus salt is your universal salt blend that you would put over your eggs, stir fries, chicken, just universally. So it's got the dried lemon zest, dried orange zest, cilantro, which is California.
Yeah.
It's got your thyme, and it's got the little hints of citrus. So once those hit any cooked foods, those citrus are going to melt into the food, and it's just amazing flavors. We've been getting really good feedback online on social media because people have been buying them straight from the website.
Okay.
www.chefkaichase.com.
There you go.
And they're coming back with pictures of the things that they've cooked, especially for the holidays. People are putting the warm Cajun and chicory in their greens. Some people are tossing the warm Cajun and chicory with their pumpkin seeds, and they're toasting them. And it's just they've been really creative. And I'm like, wow, why didn't I think of that? But I'm getting some pretty good feedback, and these are all different. So that
habanero's got my name on it. I'm going online. Okay. I like it fire. I like fire.
Good.
Like, my wife has a ulcer, so she can't eat with me. So when I cook bland, but then she tells me it's too bland. But then I gotta listen to her groan because of her ulcer, because she's been irritated. So I'm like stuck between a rock and a hard place. So how would you handle that?
Well, if your wife has an ulcer, I wouldn't do the spice with her at all. But what I would do is more savory. I would get something. I would kind of make whatever kind of spice, like something like sage would be nice. It's more soothing. Sage would be nice. Tarragon is a nice flavor to
Okay.
use for her. People put tarragon in soups. It has more of a faint licorice kind of taste, but it doesn't have that spice to it. It's just more soothing.
Mhm.
And I would just go kind of low on any kind of salts or anything that could irritate, that for her. And citrus. So
Thank you
um,
so much. So she likes lemon pepper, but she always ends up in agony. I'm
yeah,
like, why do you get this lemon pepper wings and you know that
because
you're
she
gonna be
likes the taste. Boy, she,
poor baby. Anyway, she's stuck. But so what inspires you during the holiday season? What is your like go-to spread?
what is okay around the holiday season? What inspires me? What inspires me the most is, I love cooking magazines. I love cookbooks, as you can see.
Ah,
So all these cookbooks. Then I have some on the other side over here. But I love. I just you go into the market and you'll see all the beautiful magazines for the holidays. That Bon Appetit, Savour, Better Homes and Gardens, and they'll start putting the most beautiful dishes on the magazine. So that's kind of my inspiration.
mhm.
Um, Whatever season it is, whether it's summer, holidays, but open farmers markets also, because some things that you don't always find at the grocery market, you will find at the farmers market, like
Okay.
persimmons and root vegetables like parsnips and fennel and things that people don't normally use, and they walk right past them. So that's like, oh man, I could do a soup, or I could make a butternut squash with, toast the fennels or toast chickpeas, and then you just start getting creative, and the creativity wheels start moving.
Mhm.
And so those are my inspirations. That music always inspires me, and um, just this season changes of the season, and
Okay.
what's available.
Okay. Well, I'm inspired by pork chops and more pork chops.
Well, you know what? That's five spice habanero and ginger is great for. I did a pork tenderloin with this.
Okay.
OMG! I did ribs with this.
Okay.
I did some ribs with this. It's kind of Asian kind of spice flavor with
Okay.
cloves, and we did these baby back ribs, and then we did a pineapple glaze over them.
Mm.
Oh my gosh! I said we got to post this. I said, I don't know if people do a lot of pork, but for people that do love that, you would love this. So you got to try it with that.
Yeah, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I am a pork chop fan. I know that I went to a nutritionist once who, by the way, wasn't as skinny as me and told me that I needed to cut out the fried foods and the pork chops and things like that and stay away from certain things. And I just looked at her and said, well, I'm just going to die happy. And
Everything in moderation. I
yeah.
love fried chicken. I'm sorry. I love fried chicken. I don't care. Kevin Hart, that's his favorite.
Uh-huh.
So, we're always doing some kind of chicken, fried chicken, hot wings, lemon pepper, whatever it is. But I like fried chicken and hot buttered popcorn. That's my guilty pleasure. So I
That's
just stay in the gym.
I understand. I want you to give them the website one more time, please.
My website is www.chefkaichase.com.
Okay, and we can order the spices right from there. And I'm presuming that you might do post some recipes and things like that as well.
Yeah, we have those coming up now for the holidays. We have a few different recipes for each of these spices that are coming out or that are out. We also have a really nice gift set. If you guys wanted to buy a gift set for the holidays, you can use them as stocking stuffers. So if you go online, there is a really nice black matte box that the spices go in. It's got the logo on the front of the cover, so you lift it open, and the spices will be there. We have some like stockings that people have donated. And so they put them on the website. So you'll see what it looks like. And we're going to be giving a proceeds of the sales of those to a charity soon. So stay tuned for the holidays. That'll be really great. But you can also get it through my IG, which is also the same name, Chef Kai Chase, and Facebook.
Okay. Not on Twitter?
Not on Twitter yet, because
Ah,
because my main platform has been, everybody's been on my Facebook and my Instagram, but we're gonna switch that over there to Pinterest as well. So yeah.
I was going to ask you about Pinterest because I know a lot of people get their recipes on Pinterest. I am on chefkaichase.com right now, and that 5-spice habanero and ginger spice blend, it is calling my name.
Oh,
I'm shopping today. Don't worry about it. I
oh,
got it.
good.
Got it. You don't have to send me anything. I'm going to support.
Okay, all
I
right.
got
Well,
you.
you are awesome. You're awesome. And people have been getting the 3-spice. I've been getting really good feedback about what a great deal it is. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we can try all 3 spices for this price. I'm like, yeah. So people are like, instead of the 1, they go for the 3. That's been the most popular.
Uh-huh.
But I also think that this holiday kit is going to be really great because the giving back portion when we get closer to Christmas
Okay.
is something that's near and dear to my heart. And I just hope that everybody
Okay.
gets cooking. But yeah, we're going to put some videos out of me actually making some recipes with the spices. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that too.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I hope you'll come back and talk to us again. I'm waiting on the cookbook. She's got to put out a cookbook. She's got a few recipes up here. Myers, lemon farmer's cheesecake, stewed southern leafy greens, the ultimate 5 cheese, macaroni and cheese. Oh, it's going down.
That's good.
It's going down. I'm gonna try my hand. That macaroni and cheese, 5 cheeses. You can't go wrong with 5 cheeses.
Oh, no, you cannot. You
No.
cannot. We're doing that every Thanksgiving. We're doing that this Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So good.
Is there anything you wanted to cover that I may have neglected?
I think we covered everything. I mean, we come back, we just cover some more.
Works for me. I'm looking forward to. I wish you much continued success, and will definitely support. You guys go out and check out chefkaichase.com. It's an amazing website. It's really laid out well. She's got the Ultimate Spice Collection, and you got this magnificent looking sister here presenting 3 different spices. 54 where, I don't know, but Universal Spice Collection. She's got some recipes, and exciting. I'm excited to support.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. This is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. We're coming out with some new things in 2022 under the same banner, Creations by Kai, and a cookbook of the same name. So
I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be all my creations, the people that I work for, that I've created things for. It'll be a good book. So I'm excited.
Okay. Excited for you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking to you again. Thank you so much for the time that you spent with me today. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right. We're out of here.
Have a good one.
You too.